Hey everyone, Untap Your Go here with another deck for 2020 Standard, and today we are playing a Lurrus of the Dream Den build built around a mini Dimir control list. Basically what we're trying to do is contain our opponent's threats, counter them, kill them, while also milling our opponent, and that's essentially how we try to win the game. We can also get in with just lethal damage with the Thieves Guild Enforcer. The 3 damage eventually adds up pretty good, but for the most part, we're just trying to control the board, keep everything at a minimum until our opponent's library hits 0. And to get to that, we have a few Merfolk Secretkeepers, we have a playset of Ruin Crab, we have a playset of Maddening Cacophony, and a playset of Thieves Guild Enforcer. Those are our mill pieces. That's the entire package for the mill, and then it's all centered around just all the good value cards in Dimir. We have all 4 Bloodchief's Thirst to deal with our opponent's early game threats as well as late game threats. A few so tiny, this card's is just like sneakily one of the best cards on the deck. All 4 Frantic Inventory, because just drawing cards can help us see more cards and it's just gas. All 4 is around the Loch because they're going to have plenty of cards in their graveyard. That's our entire strategy, so being able to kill their stuff, counter their stuff, it's good. We have 3 Mystical Disputes in the main deck. This is primarily to give us a fighting chance against the Omnath matchup, but it's at an okay rate as a counter spell for anything else. And it catches a lot of people off guard. Most people don't expect us to be playing Mystical Dispute, so it's a good card in the meta, I think, right now. And then we just have a bunch of split cards to add our land count up because we're only playing 19 lands, which is okay because the curve is so low. Outside of like Hagra Mauling and Into the Story, everything just costs 3 or less, and for the most part it's 2 and 1. So we can function pretty well off of 3. We want our 4th land to be able to cast our Into the Story and our Hagra Mauling, but it's not necessary always. But anyway, the mana base, 7/7 split on the basics. I only have 1 temple. I don't have any of the pathways yet. I'm not crafting the temples, but if you have them, I suggest playing them, as well as obviously playing the pathways. If you have them, play them as well. And then we have 4 Fabled Passages, and that's the entire deck. And I hope everyone enjoys. If you do, I'll leave a link for the deck in the description so you can try it out yourselves. And please consider leaving that like in the comment, as well as the other YouTube stuff. And let's take this into some games and see if we can mill our opponents out. All right, opponents on the play. And our hand seems pretty good. We can start off with the Crab, follow up with the Merfolk Secretkeeper if we need to, or the Maddening Cacophony. It'll turn our Drown and the Loch on pretty early. If we were just on the play, this hand would be perfect. All right, opponent leads off with Duress. So they have their pick between Drown and Maddening Cacophony. They take the Drown. It's unfortunate. Okay, opponent hits the Maddening Cacophony. Well, the plus side is that we get to keep our Crab, at least for another turn. Cling to dust for our opponent. I think that playing escape cards in your main deck makes a lot of sense right now, considering that mill is so prevalent. So you're always going to have, like, whether your goal is to put stuff into your grave anyway, you're kind of just maxing out on the value. As much as I want to lead off with the Fabled Passage for the extra mill before you can interact with my creature, I think I have to hold up the Silundi Visions. Just dig for some more cards. We have 2 unknowns for our opponent. Yeah, so they're going to take this. Might as well just let them take that versus taking whatever it is that we find. Okay, get our Fabled Passage, which is fine. Go ahead and buy back our Lurrus. Sure. Okay. Go ahead and fetch the second black source and mill our opponent some more. Into the Story is a great draw for us. Wow. Okay, so I don't think I'm too worried about this turn. So I think we just lead off with our island maybe run out the Secretkeeper and then hold up into the story. If our opponent decides to try to rip something out of our hand, I'll fire off the end of the story and then deal with the Nighthawk Ambush Scavenger next turn. Second copy for our opponent. And it seems like they ran out of hand disruption. Okay, go ahead and fire this off now. A couple pretty good draws for us. So I will go ahead, kill one of these. I'm going to send a 28. I could bluff. I could bluff the Drown in the Loch. Yeah, I think I just bluffed the Drown in the Loch. Okay, our opponent is exiling one of their own cards, which I'm not sure why they would, considering that we were a Lurrus deck and they had viable targets. Okay, so we start off, we can get another land in the play. What is in our yard? Any permanent, right? Cast, okay. Alright, so we just start off with milling for 4. Ooh, we had an Elder Gargoth, that's pretty good for us too. And then I think we just honestly hold up the Hagra Mauling and the Mystical Dispute. We have our opponent at in a pretty good spot. It's like, do I just counter this, or do I counter what they tutor for? So I'm not sure what they're going to be tutoring for. So if we counter this, well, they have the mana for it actually, so it doesn't matter. Oh, perfect. He tutored a kill spell? Perfect. That had to be incredibly backbreaking for our opponent. One mana open. Thieves Guild Enforcer is not a bad draw for us. And we're definitely just going to go ahead and kill this now. And hope our opponent doesn't have Malakir Rebirth. Okay, cool. Cool. We need a double black for that. We still don't have anything that we can actually bring back out of our graveyard, so I think I'll just run out the Secretkeeper and hold up the Thieves Guild Enforcer. Okay, our opponent is clinging the dust on the end step. Non-creature, non-land? Go ahead, take your pick. Well, our opponent knows that we have it. Might as well run it out. Opponent very close to having 0 cards. Frantic Inventory is not bad. I wouldn't mind actually just drawing into a second one. So I can draw 2. So Tiny is not bad for us either. That actually gives us an out against their flyers. Let's go ahead and get Lurrus down. Our opponent's checking our graveyard. We don't have anything in there worth bringing back, so he's literally just there for the lifelink. And I honestly don't care about our opponent's life total, so I'm not even going to bother attacking this game. Our opponent's digging for their with their clings. They're just trying to find cards. And I mean, them drawing cards is only helping us, so that's pretty unfortunate for our opponent, because now we can just lock down the fort. I'm gonna sit here and start gaining some life back with Lurrus, just to keep us out of the red zone. I'm just gonna go ahead and counter that. Hit a land drop. Go ahead and gain us back some 3, and we will pass it up. Okay. I mean, that's cool. Good game, opponent. Alright, going in the next game up against Clone. And this hand is a little rough. Leading off with a tapped island. 2 more tapped lands isn't great. Could start off with the Fabled Passage, crack for the swamp, and have the Bloodchief's Thirst ready. I mean, yeah, this hand could play out fine. It depends on our draws, really. If our draws are bad, this hand is terrible. And our hand is terrible. 3 Fabled Passages and not a crab in sight. So I think we just start off with the swamp just so we have it. Just to make sure that we have it. And we drew a lot of lands already, so honestly, I would be fine with just not drawing any more lands for the rest of the game. I'd be okay with that. Or we can just Fabled Passage .deck. That's definitely a thing we can do. Our opponent's playing a little slow, so I'm just gonna hold up their Frantic Inventory. We need to find more action. Pelakka Predation. Well, the only card that they can get is our Silundi Vision, so that's fine. Our opponent sees our struggle. Oh man, that's so awkward. This is terrible. So many tapped lands. This is awful. Not playing with the pathways definitely doesn't help. And we're up against a Doom Foretold deck, so this should be interesting. I think I'm just going to go ahead and play this out as another land, since our opponent can make us discard it. Okay, Thieves, Guild Enforcer is good for us. Definitely good. So I'm just gonna run out the Secretkeeper, save up the Thieves, Guild Enforcer, and I'm not trying to crack any of these Fabled Passages until I hit the crab. And I don't really need to worry about cracking them anymore, I don't think. Well, that's still no crab, but I'm still not worried about it. And there's not really much in our grave, so there's no point in buying Lurrus this turn. It's not necessary just yet. Let's start attacking our opponent's life total. We haven't really seen any of our mill pieces yet, so outside of Merfolk Secretkeeper. So we're off to a pretty slow start with that. Exile all creatures and planeswalkers, 3 or less. Okay. It's okay. Alright, still no crab. So I'm just going to go ahead and deploy Lurrus as a threat. There's no point in sandbagging that Fabled Passage anymore, so I'm just going to try to sandbag these 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We see 9 of our 19 actual lands in the top 16. Alright, opponent hit us with the Shadow Verdict again. I think I'll go ahead and attack their hand now. Yikes. Holy crap. So they got 6 mana. They got mana. I think we just go about the Massacre Worm here, right? Doom Foretold doesn't do anything for them. And then 3 Ugins are still a few turns off. I just take the Massacre Worm since they can actually play that. And I'll keep holding up the passages. Okay, yeah. Our opponent gets the top deck of a lifetime. Which is okay. We're just gonna We're just gonna kill it. Okay. So if we run out the crab now, and if we get lucky and our opponent doesn't hit another land, we can counter their Doom Foretold. If they hit a land though, we're kind of screwed. So I'm just gonna run out the passage anyway, start getting that ball in the roll, and I'm just gonna pass it up. And our opponent found the mana. And that's way better for us. That is way, 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 way better for us that our opponent did that. Gives us one more turn and multiple triggers with the crab. And this is awkward. We're just drawing literally lands. It's been nothing but lands. Yep. Well, might as well get the value out of the crab while we still can. And we hit their 4th Ugin. 5, 6, 7. They're 1 mana away. Okay, no, they get to cast their Ugin next turn. That's not great for us. Still drawing dead. Now we have 3 Ugins that we have to battle through. Yep. So, go ahead and kill the first one. See if we can draw into a counter spell maybe. That's what we need. Perfect. Perfect. We have a counter spell and a draw 3. Let's go ahead and counter this Ugin. Okay. Okay, yes. Alright, cool. So we're starting to kind of get there. We might have a chance if we can hit one more counter spell, maybe. Okay. I'm still just gonna draw. I need to find this I need to find this counter spell, and we did. Okay. So all I need to do is hold up 3 mana. So I'll go ahead and fire off one of these Maddening Cacophonies. Our opponent's down to 12 cards. I'll drop a land. That's fine. Yeah, we can just win. Just go ahead and mill them for lethal. Good game, opponent. You just fought through 3 Ugins almost. Oh my god. Alright, opponent's on the play. Seems like that's how it's going to play out for the rest of this video. Opponent's not playing any companions to base off of. This hand is way better. We'll go ahead and keep. I think we just bottom the end of the story for now. Go ahead and start milling our opponent. This is the pathway I was mentioning as well that I don't have the playset of. I don't have any copies of this, but this is definitely worth playing. And this seems to be a Sultai control build. Interesting. Our opponent has 4 cards in grave, so we already have Drown the Loch turned on. And since we're playing the control matchup, I think we're just gonna be draw going for a while. Okay, we'll just keep passing it up. Okay, hit another Ashiok. Pretty good for us. I'm just going to go ahead and crack this now for the extra blue source to ensure it comes into play. Untapped for our following turn. Sure. Alright, we hit a Maddening Cacophony, which can be good. I'm just afraid if I don't... Like, if our opponent casts a non-blue spell, I won't have the 1 mana to counter it with Mystical Dispute. And I think it's probably better off just holding up the Drown the Loch, so I'm going to run out the Secretkeeper just because and go ahead and pass it back. Alright, our opponent with their first... Well, I don't really need to worry about getting in aggressively here, right? Like, I could just so tiny this. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and so tiny that. Yeah, you do -2 damage. I don't know why you attacked thinking you wouldn't. Okay, so we hit our land drop, so I'm going to go ahead and Maddening Cacophony. And we still have Drown the Loch held up and Mystical Dispute. Alright, well we're just hitting our land drops, so we're doing okay. And I would buy the Lurrus this turn, it's still not necessary. I think we just keep holding up the Drown and the Dispute. Our opponent's cheeky. Okay, so we hit a crab. That's pretty good for us. Go ahead and play it. Yep. And we're just going to pass it up. So I think I have to let this resolve, and I'll just get it back with Lurrus, because if I counter that, then it leaves them open to be on tap for all of their crazy shenanigans on their turn. We need to be more proactive. And that's a beautiful, clean answer to a not so beautiful and very scary card. Okay. Just go ahead and triple black, buy back this Lurrus. We're not actually going to cast it this turn. We still want to keep up a counterspell. That's fine. Go ahead and get our crab. Yes, yes, opponent. Keep drawing cards. That's what I want you to do. Just don't draw into anything good. Alright, well, I'm not going to counter it. I'll let them lose the life. I'm just going to kill the Murderous Rider in response. And then we'll get our Bloodchief's Thirst. Seems good. Seems really good, opponent. Oh. There we go. That'll help. Well, we just have to hope that for the next maybe 2 or 3 draw steps, they don't amass an insane board state. I mean, Polychronos is a pretty insane card that now I have to kill, which means that my next draw has to be like backbreaking for my opponent, or I'm just dead. Okay, we're down to 8. Not looking good. Our opponent is most likely holding up a counterspell now. They have answers. Keep drawing cards, man. Yeah. Alright, held our opponent with a good game. That was unfortunate, but got our opponent down pretty low. Good game, opponent. Okay, opponent's on the play yet again. This hand's not terrible, so I'm just gonna keep it. Start off with the Temple and maybe find our 3rd land or some action. And we found our 3rd land already. Maybe we can find our 4th. I'm actually okay with that. Then we'll be in a pretty good spot to win the card advantage war at least. Go ahead and start off by milling. Start getting their cards in yard. And this is the Gruul Landfall deck. Big ol' stuff. Sure, you got yourself a Lotus Cobra, my man. You did the thing. You did the thing. Not hitting an untapped 3rd land really hurts here. But we have to kill this Cobra, I think. Yeah, we have to kill it. Sure, you get 1 mana. You get 1 mana, dude. What can you do with 1 mana? Do you have like village rights? Are you gonna like village rights me or something? Are you gonna give him hexproof? Okay, cool. We're good. Had me in panic mode, man. Oh no. I don't like that. And our opponent gets immediate value. Like, he's playing Evolving Wilds, for crying out loud. Jeez, man. This is a very, very, very greedy version of the deck I was playing. Let's get this extra island. We're going to start getting overrun by Scoot Swarms. Oh, there's a crab, no land. I could try to draw a card, bank on drawing a land, and hit another Cacophony, but is that actually relevant? Just go ahead and mill them for 8 more. Run out the crab. Hope our opponent doesn't make like 7 land drops this turn for whatever reason. Oh, they found another Cobra. And they always have the fetch land. Come on. You play a playset of both? Scoot Swarm is seriously the gas, though. Well, that's probably just game. No blocks. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and scoop this one up. There's no way we can bring it back from there. Alright, we're finally on the play against Dave. Thank you, man. Thanks for letting me be on the play. Not that you really had much of a say in it, but, you know. Start off with the crab. up against what appears to be a mono-white life gain, potentially. So I can start off with the Hagra Mauling, so guarantee that I have that untapped. I can also play the Swamp and have the counterspell up, which I think is the stronger play. Six mana Basri. Alright, our opponent with Daxos. The Devotion pips scare me more than the card itself. I'm not too worried about my opponent's life total at all. So he'll have 3 pips for his Heliod if he's playing it. Which I feel like countering the Heliod is just the stronger thing to do. So I'm just going to draw a card, try to keep finding some lands. Alright, we failed to do so, so we have to play our Hagra Mauling. Unfortunate. Hit an Elspeth. Okay, so I can hold this up for whatever big creature they play, and I think I have to hold up the counterspell for a potential Heliod. Well, Glass Casket's definitely a problem too, so go ahead and counter that. Get that out of here. Not my house. You mean Glass Casket in my crab? My crab. Could be cheeky and just call it a crab casket. So, I mean, I doubt they play any pump spells. If they feel like pumping it to kill the crab, then I guess two for wanting themselves. But so we're just gonna go ahead and play this out as a land. And we're just gonna pass it up. Slow and steady is winning the race here with the crab, and we're keeping our life total pretty much in check. There's the Basri. So I'm going to go ahead and just not let that resolve. So this is just mono white planeswalkers. It's cool. Mono white super friends. I can get behind that. Right, we found another crab. We're not hitting our lands though. So I think go ahead and actually, we're going to Maddening Cacophony. That's down to 32. If we play that, we won't have access to anything else. So I guess we play the crab and we Bloodchief's Thirst the Daxos. Force him to use a Selfless Savior. Or even better, we can just let that through. It makes more sense to target the creature that it can protect, because if you're just trying to force the sacrifice anyway, then I see that's why he let it through. That's okay. There's the Heliod. Yeah, I don't know why you're attacking, man. Okay, Drown Lock will help. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're at 4 pips. So we definitely need to try to keep that at 4. Ideally, next turn they hit a land and they try to escape Elspeth, and then we just counter it. All seed. That's terrible. Well, we have to counter it. Okay. Sure. You did it. Yep. Well, they're getting a lot of life here. See where they decide to put the counters. Our opponent's splitting up the damage. I think we just go ahead and nullify this. And now we're in a really, really bad spot. Oh, I could have blocked the 1/1. Oops. All because our opponent got a Helia through. Well, Thieves Guild Enforcer helps. So I guess we just go ahead and buy this to our hand. Pass it up. Well, like gaining indestructible is so crappy. Okay. Opponent has everything they need. We were on the play for the first time this video, but unfortunately just can't seem to get a break these last 3 games. Yep. It's a lot of triggers. Go ahead and get it. I'm pretty sure our opponent just has us regardless, no matter what we do. I don't think we can draw into anything that's going to save us. Blocker stage? Okay, cool. Taking a lot here. So we gain 3. We're blocking their biggest creature, which as of now is this. We're still taking 3, so yeah, it's just... Alright, good game, opponent. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Hey everyone, welcome back with the wrap up. Unfortunately, we had a pretty weak finish going 2-3, and we lost our last 3 games in particular. I think that between bad draws, unlucky draws, bad hands, and our opponent just being able to stick the threats that we needed to counter were the only reason that we lost those games. If I was able to counter my opponent's Heliod in the last game, I might have had a few more turns and it might have played out significantly different. But overall, the deck is a lot of fun. It's strong. It's dealing with a lot of different things and it's attacking different angles. I feel like the deck could actually improve with like a Cling to Dust maybe to also be able to exile our opponent's creatures. If I could have exiled the Polychronos in the other game, I would have had a chance. So that's another consideration for the deck. But overall, between that and the mana base being a little clunky on my end, if you have the pathways and the temples, highly recommend playing them. It would significantly improve this deck's performance. And with that, that's the deck. I hope everyone enjoyed, and if you did, please consider checking it out yourselves, as well as leaving that like in the comment and all the other YouTube stuff. And with that, I will catch everyone in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody.